Perfect.
You're listening to Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. Small town feel with big time ideas. After all, you are entitled to Brad's opinion. Here's your host, Brad Allard.
Well, we made it to another week. I'm a little surprised, but there you go. Every time I wake up on a Monday morning, it's another week. I'm like, what am I doing here? Anyway, I'm getting
That's how
old.
I feel on Fridays.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, we made it through another week.
Yeah,
It's
another
Friday.
week, I know, but I got to do it again. Well, we have Amber Case, and who's going to tell us about Harvest House, and Kelly Alexander, who's going to sit there and look pretty, I guess. So is that what you said you're going to do?
Yes, that's what I said I was going to do. Sit here and look pretty.
You do a great job of that.
Well,
All right.
thank you.
All right. So, but no, we're going to ask you a lot of questions, both of you, because there's a lot going on in y'all's particular avenue of nonprofit, and some of this is out of y'all's control, we know. And so we're going to talk about what's going on and how the government shutdown may affect it. Now, I'll do the politics. They're not going to do the politics. So don't, if I say something political, it doesn't reflect on them, okay? Because they need donations from both sides, right?
Absolutely.
And you serve both sides.
That's right.
You don't ask, let's see your voter registration card. Oh, you're the wrong party. I'm sorry. Go down the street. It didn't work that way?
It does not. We feed people like Jesus asked us to without prerequisite.
I know. I was just kind of giving you a hard time. But no, it's a serious situation, though, because it could get really serious if things don't get resolved pretty soon. But before we jump into that fun, we're also going to talk about your harvest brunch. And apparently you've got an MC for it, Mr. Rippey, Zach Rippey, who does the I Like Birds podcast.
That's right.
Oh, so you're snagging big-time talent, huh? Okay.
Yes. We are so excited about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about what that's all about and talk on Facebook. There you go. So let's talk about the sponsors because they make all this possible. We all know Otto and his Our Place. I was there last Thursday morning. My men and I, we tried to solve the world's problems, and we didn't even try this time because we can't solve them. So we just talked football. We can't solve that either. So,
That's made me more
Well,
complicated than politics.
Well,
right now.
certainly the college scene is. We talk mostly college football because the Cowboys are past hope, so we don't worry about them. But, we talk about the politics of football because there's a lot of it going on with that too. And so it's a mess. And then my Fighting Bears have decided, well, I don't feel like playing football this season. So there you go, that kind of thing. Here, and we'll share the various groups because they all need to know what's going on at the Harvest
I will be
House.
going to Our Place for lunch whenever we're done here. So
Is that right?
Love some Our Place.
Yeah, is it just for lunch or is there a meeting or something like that involved?
Just for lunch.
Yeah, it's a good place to do it. I do a lot of my business at Gina's, in fact, because it's a good place to do it. And they got really good music that I really like. I like that old blues music. And it's got great pizza. And, they'll have the TVs on. Afternoon sports is what makes this country great.
Yes.
Sitting there with a pizza and a beer at 2 o'clock watching sports, it's like, makes you proud to be American. Right? But anyway, so Gina's Pizza, you know what? You love it. Okay. Also, my friend John at All Pro Roofing, we had a pretty good rain this Saturday. I don't know if we all did, but we did. And I just slept through it because my roof is in good shape. Why do I know that? Because John told me so. Because he came out and inspected it. 817-734-2756. Get yourself a free inspection. It's not supposed to rain for about 10 days, so this is a good time to do it. And sooner or later we're going to have hard weather, and you want your roof to handle all that, and he'll tell you. He'll tell you if you need repairs. He'll tell you if you don't. He'll tell you if you need a new roof, and if you do, he'll help you with the insurance companies, which he'll tell you some insurance companies are more difficult than others. Now, mine, Texas Farm Bureau, did me fine. They did me well when I needed it. So I always throw that plug in there for that. But John will help you with all those needs. So give him a holler, 817-734-2756. Also, my friend Jeff Kelly, 817-781-0546 with the Wethington Agency. He's going to be here next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow. And we're going to talk about some of the amendments in the Texas Constitution, how it affects homeowners, because there's several, actually. And that's what I'm going to talk about on Monday. I'm going to rant a little bit about some of those amendments. And see, most people aren't paying attention to that. And I get it because, a lot of those amendments don't apply to them personally. But I think they need to know what's going to happen if they're passed, which they will be, I'm almost sure. I don't think I've ever seen an amendment not pass, so we'll see what happens. And we'll talk all about that. But 817-781-0546 or Jeff at jeffkellyrealty.com. He'll set you up if you're looking to buy or sell. Also, my friend Al, I keep missing Tiffany. Sorry, dear. Bless your heart. Tiffany Jane or Local Life, you'll have it probably next Monday. I do know coming up, she does an issue on nonprofits, so I would not doubt she'll be hollering at y'all pretty soon.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and you'll be getting your pictures in there. And you'll be putting your phone number under, right, Kelly? And you'll call me. No, really? No.
Maybe sometimes my number's in there.
You never
Just
know.
depends.
It's just, sorry. You're such an easy target. I don't know, because you get that bewildered look in your face when you come in the studio.
She is an easy target. It's hard. Yeah. She's a great sport.
Yeah, bless her heart. Anyway, Local Life Magazine, Tiffany, yes, it'll be out there next Monday. You can check out locallifetx.com for the latest information. And my friend Al over at Bass Printing. Josh, did you get the new logo by any chance? He sent it to me this weekend. I don't know if I sent it to you in time.
I'm getting that in.
Okay, well, good. But anyway, Bass Printing and Consulting Services. You can call them at 817-616-8761 or get them at Alric, that's ALRICK, at bassprinting.com.
I love their logo.
Yes, it is. The thing is, people think it has to do with his hobbies as a bass fisherman or something like that. It has nothing to do with fish. He just bought the franchise and he kept the name because it was familiar. But Alric's from St. Kitts, so he's a very interesting character, to say the least. Lots of personality. But again, 817-616-8761. I do believe a couple of nonprofit stuff, but we'll go over that at the end, particularly our friend Rich Hooper. They're still in their fundraising mode, so to speak. Of course, when you talk to nonprofits, you're always in the fundraising mode.
It never ends.
Never ends.
It never ends.
And I got to ask you about that sometimes, because it's like, is there times you feel like you're on a treadmill or something like that?
Yes.
Yes. How do y'all keep going then?
We just push through.
Push through.
Definitely, we push through.
You try to remember what you're there for, right?
Yes.
Oh,
We
yes.
remember what we're there for.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the rewarding part. I think that's what helps us push through.
Yeah, but I've talked to several of your peers, and they're like, and they put on a brave and happy face, but I know there has to be some mornings like, I don't want to go and talk to this man, and they are, I don't want to have to shake anybody more. I don't want any more fundraising, but it doesn't. That's not the way the world is it?
Fundraising is the hardest part of our job.
Really? Yeah, but it is, because I know you probably deal with a lot of people that want to help, but sometimes they can't. And you have to handle that, tactfully, I suppose. You can't say, hey, you deadbeat. I know you can give. $10, that's all you got? No, it doesn't work that way either.
No, not at all.
No, but it is something I've come to learn as I've sat here in this seat over the last 6+ years, is just fundraising is 24/7. And that's just the way of the world. Do you ever see yourselves getting to the point, we got enough money. Our pantries are full.
No.
No.
And the easiest way to fundraise is to find people that align with a passion, and they have a passion for it. And that's the easiest ask.
Well, I have your friend Elizabeth Becker on 2 weeks from today, on the 10th. Same thing, and I talked to people the next step, and they had this big fundraiser. Now it's on to the next one and that kind of thing. So I admire what y'all do. I really do, because you got to be really self-motivated. Because, I'm sure y'all feel like if you don't do this job right, some people out in the world may suffer the consequences.
Yeah, it's a heavy burden.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
And how do y'all deal with that? I mean, you're doing the best you can. Yeah, I mean, it's not all on y'all.
It's on the community as a whole, I think. I mean, we all play a part in it, for sure.
And I guess Burleson's a better community than most when it comes to these things, because I've talked to people in other communities, and they don't have anything like what we're going on. Is there a food bank in Joshua? I don't know. I think there is one, but...
There's a couple churches that do food banks in Joshua, but nothing
like this.
Nothing like this, no. And it is a heavy burden, and it is... I was actually just talking to my husband about how heavy of a burden it is. Since I've been in this role as executive director, I've realized how intense the burden is, because you're right. If we don't raise the money, if we don't have the volunteers, if we don't have all the pieces of that fundraising puzzle, then people go without, and that is something that we can't have happen. And so it's a constant burden, and it's a privilege. It's not just a burden. It's a privilege to have that honor. but it's not something that we steward lightly.
Well, I guess I brought that up because I want the community to know that they have true servants in this community. They get up in the morning and put aside whatever they got going on to try to serve others, and it's a hard gig. It's similar to school teaching because some days they could read it in a book, or I'll put a film on, or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, if you want to do the job right, you had to get up and do it and put your guts and heart into it and all that. But I just want the community to know that this is something that y'all and all your peers have to deal with is every day. But I would also say, don't take that burden on personally. I mean, y'all are doing the best you can, doing a fantastic job. And so don't feel like it's all on y'all, all right? It's on us too. And to kind of segue into it, it also has to do with what's going on in the world with the government, all right? As much as we don't like to talk politics, I'll talk to politics. They're not going to talk to politics. But this shutdown is now going to start having an effect.
Yeah.
Because there's no more SNAP benefits as of Saturday, which effectively means next Monday. You've had the first missed paychecks for hundreds of thousands of federal employees. And I saw this news article, and it may have been hyped by NBC News, I don't know, but it was this long line at the food bank in some Northern Virginia community. And it was like, seriously had to be 2 blocks long.
Mm-hmm.
It could, and they were interviewing people, and over half of them were first-time users because they were federal employees and they weren't going to get a check.
Mm-hmm.
This shutdown is going to have impact on us one way or the other. And we, as far as who's to blame, and it's the Democrats, it's Republicans, that's another conversation. And I'll do that myself next week. Well, no, but I don't want that to reflect on y'all because I know you give to both sides. You want to receive from both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. I was at an event this weekend at one of our partner churches, and we had a lady that came up to our booth, and she said that she was on food stamps, and she had received a packet from her case manager that told her how to prepare for the fact that they were not going to be receiving the food stamps. And like you said, it's not just the food stamps, it's people that don't have, that are not receiving their checks. And so that's whatever we call in the community, because if, there's both sides of the fence, people that think the government's the answer and people think that government's the problem. It doesn't really matter which side of that fence you're on when the government benefits that people are counting on, disabled people with young children, when those are gone, the food pantries are the ones that receive the biggest hit for that. And it's combined with the lack of, during government shutdowns, during political rough waters, people stop giving. Naturally, they hold on to their money. So we have a combination of a perfect storm brewing.
Here's our friend Rich Hooper.
Hi, Rich.
You just love these two ladies. They're making a huge impact in this area. I've always said, do the right thing, the right way, for the right reason. God will honor it.
Yes, that's good.
That is.
Yes.
That's good.
And he's in a similar situation. He's a nonprofit as well. And, we were talking about this last Monday we was on, and it is a 24/7 job. But, but back to what you were saying, I wonder, the people that say, well, the government really shouldn't be involved in these kind of social welfare programs, I wonder how generous they are personally.
Amen.
Amen. If they're very generous personally, and I guess they're walking the walk, but I know that ain't the case in a lot of cases. All right. Because you get this attitude also, well, the poor put themselves in that position and therefore they need to get themselves out of it. That's just rubbish. All right. What did Christ say? The poor you always have with us. Now, he may have meant that in another context as well, but that's the truth. I mean, that's an observable fact. That's a word. Observable. There we go.
There you go.
Anyway. But that's the way it is. And these people that say, well, the government shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that, well, okay. If you're contributing to the solution, okay, then we have a conversation. If you're not, then, then lay out,
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing, as especially for the, and again, this is not a personal opinion, but especially for the people that want less government. Okay. If you want less government, then you as a community have to stand by the nonprofits that are doing the work to sustain the community. Now you can get out here and participate as much as you want to, but at a minimum, you're going to have to give your financial support to those. We would love volunteer. I mean, there's all different kinds of ways that you can support, but the only answer for less government is more people, more community, more, we have to step up as a community, and I'm okay with that as well. Either way, Harvest House doesn't receive any government funds at all.
Right.
We are sustained without government funds. So we did have a small grant last year from the city of Fort Worth for financial assistance. Let me clarify that. But that's
we're talking about the federal government, okay?
Yes, but we do not receive federal assistance. And so we rely specifically on the churches and the communities, especially during times of this. I mean, how many times in the Bible does God talk about feeding the poor, about clothing people? And that's what we do. We feed and clothe people.
Kelly, what exactly is your position with them? You're a social media director and all that. Is that right?
That is absolutely not right.
Oh, okay. I thought you were their publicity person.
No, so I'm the community outreach
Oh,
manager.
okay. It's the same thing. I mean, really. That's
So
close.
she does not do social media.
I do
Marina
not.
does that.
Yes.
All right.
So what I do is I build business partnerships, fundraising, and host special events for Harvest House.
So you were there at the last Chamber of Commerce event, and you were there passing out the leaflets for your harvest brunch and things like that. And, so you're the community connection more or less.
Yes.
Okay. That sounds like a lot of fun. And you probably
does.
You get
It
a lot
is.
of, I'm sure you get a pretty good reception in this community. I hope anyway.
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, definitely.
But, Josh, are we having problems with Facebook again?
Working on it.
Oh boy. Are we still rolling though?
We are.
Oh, goodness. So anyway, we'll just keep on talking. I guess this will be part of the, let me know when the Facebook comes back up and we'll get back on it. We've had really some problems with the software.
Well, there was that thing last week that was wild where there was a crash with the Amazon
Yeah.
and it caused a lot of problems for a lot of people. That was a wild crash. We rely so much on the digital world that
Yeah.
what would we do without it?
Well, I could tell. That's why I had the phone out, because I can tell when it stops. Okay, there's something going on. So, Josh, you telling us we're still rolling on YouTube or whatnot?
We are back on Facebook and YouTube.
Okay. All right. Back on again. Send me another link, buddy, and we'll just go from the beginning again. Now, anyway, we were talking about the government shutdown and its impact, so I'm going to kind of retread over some of that. But the fact is that with this shutdown coming, or it's here rather, but we haven't really felt it that much. I mean, there's certain people that have maybe, but as a nation, we really haven't felt it. Now we are. You expect to have a lot more business, so to speak.
Absolutely. The need is going to grow exponentially next month whenever these families in our community are completely without their food stamps. And again, it's not a matter of opinion whether or not they should have it, shouldn't have it. It is the fact that people will go without the ability to buy groceries. And so the food banks all in the area, everywhere, are going to be receiving a much higher volume than normal in food requests. And Harvest House also does financial assistance. So the people who are without their government paycheck, the people that are spending money on food that they weren't originally budgeted to spend, it's going to trickle down into rent and utilities. And so we are positioned to also assist that way. Last year we did $126,000 in financial assistance. And so we're prepared for all areas of service. Christmas, our Christmas program is coming up, our food pantry, our financial assistance, all of those areas are going to be hit hard through this government shutdown.
What really makes it tough is what's coming up, November, December, which are, I'm sure, very busy times for y'all already. And we also have Thursday when we're talking with Jack Matson for Toys for Tots.
We partner with Jack.
Yes, you and I think the Fountains Church and Crowley House of Hope. Yeah, and but when you got a situation where money is tight, there's going to be some difficulties getting your own kids presents sometimes, and that's what makes me upset about this whole thing. Because we can talk about, again, the politics I'll leave for myself, but I'm just saying that this is really impacting a lot of people unfairly and unnecessarily. And I don't know how y'all can prepare. I mean, because you always need donations and whatever else. My bet is, I kind of sense your resale shop may get a lot more business because y'all are so much more affordable and you have good stuff. Yeah, people may be coming to y'all's place to buy Christmas presents.
Yeah, we do. That's absolutely something. We also have our Christmas program. So last year we did 402 children, and then each child was able to get 3+ toys. We have bikes. We partner with Walmart with Bikes for Angels. I think we had about 85 bikes last year that we gave away. in addition to the Christmas toys. But you're absolutely correct. I mean, it's going to hit all areas. And one of the things that is the community needs to understand, I mean, this causes a ripple effect everywhere, because now you're going to have kids that are going to be coming to school feeling the pressure of what's going on at home. There's going to be people going into the workforce that are feeling the pressure, because believe it or not, there are a lot of people who work and are on food stamps to supplement that. You also have the disabled and the retired community that rely on their Social Security payments and that rely on food stamps, and that's all they have. So every sector is going to feel this. And then when people have food insecurity, when people have the high stress, then what comes next is the crime. So it's a trickle-down effect into every area of our community.
Well, there's no question that when there's economic stress, a lot of other factors, negative social factors go up, such as abuse and petty crime, or maybe assaults and stuff like that, because the stress and the pressure sometimes builds on them. There's no question that every time you have a community or a situation where your economy is going down, all these negative factors go up. Marital strife and things like that. And so I guess since the government can't seem to get its job done, it's going to be on us to get the job done. Right. And it always has been, really. But because we really can't rely on the government to do everything.
No,
but
we shouldn't. And
I guess we're lucky to be in a community that has enough generous people to keep all these various functions going. You talk about also, we've been talking about food and distribution of goods or whatever, but you also do a lot of financial assistance, and you're going to be hit up a lot of that because some of these people aren't going to be able to make rent or pay the utility bill. Y'all sit around the table and fret about that? I mean, I would. I mean, that's my nature, but y'all sit around the table and say, Lord, we can't do this unless you really show up in a big way.
Absolutely. I mean, it is, the Bible says to, and it's the verse that I have on the end of my my email signature is, do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest. And so we pray every morning as an organization. We get together before we open the doors and we pray, and we trust God. God is so faithful to Harvest House. I have seen miracle after miracle, times when we didn't have enough food, and we've put a request out to the community, and the community comes in full force. And so I think that the ask for the community is, people always ask, well, what's the number one way we can help? We need a mixture of everything, and everyone does.
Everything, right?
And it doesn't have to be Harvest House. You can go Crowley House of Hope. You can go Promises. Find someone that is sustaining those who are most vulnerable, and get involved. Take food. It's also the holidays, so we're preparing turkey meals. We are preparing. We are accepting donations of turkeys or chickens, and we're putting together the rest of the fixings that go with that.
So it's your job, Kelly, to go and say, hey, we need more. Is this really how it works? You go and say, hey, community, we're short on X, Y, and Z, and we need your help. Is that your job?
Of course. That is definitely part of my job.
Yeah, and that must be a tough job, though. It really is. Because, I'm sure the people that give are probably getting hit up by a lot of different groups, okay? Because, you know who to ask and who not to ask. It was like, I made this analogy before. When I was in the high school, I'd say, okay, I'm going to buy one fundraising item per group, period. And so, the band kids would run down the hall when they got their, wrapping paper or their fruit or whatever to try to sell, because they knew that who got there first would probably get a positive response. Or if I was on student council, a leader, which I did for many, many years, we needed teacher help. We knew who to ask, and we knew not to ask because what the response was going to be. And so that's your job, huh?
That is my job.
You do it well, though. I mean, I see your work in the chamber event, and very charming, and it works. It works. You all do good work on this. But to kind of finish this part up, when you talk about the needs, my concern is, people think, okay, if I drop off a few bags of groceries, it'll be enough. But I'm afraid you're going to be hit if it's more financial oriented, but the rent again. And you made a good point that if people think that people on food stamps or other type of government assistance are, kind of layabouts and not really trying, they don't spend a day in your world.
No, they don't.
Because I know that Debbie Beeman has told me that a majority of the people they deal with are employed. And a lot of the people that are homeless are employed. And
And I mean, there are the people. I had a meeting this morning, and one of the things I shared with them is, in order to find the people that are looking for the restoration, we have to we will weed out the people that aren't ready. And yes, I'm not saying that there's not those people there, but those people still need to eat. Now, for financial assistance and additional programs, they probably won't qualify for those. But more often than not, the people that are willing to come to Harvest House are not the people that are just sitting there being lazy. If you when you come to the brunch, you will see a video, and in that video, we have a young man who came in a couple weeks ago, and his story is incredible. He was I think he was a pipeline worker, and his wife passed away. His young wife of 38 passed away, and then within a couple weeks from that, he got a blister on his foot that turned into a festering wound, and his leg was amputated. Good heavens. So he is a widow and an amputee, and he has 4 girls that he is taking care of by himself. And all he wants is a job now in his wheelchair, for someone to give him a chance. And we're hoping to connect him with a resource for that. But he came in asking for his electricity, and we were able to help with his electricity. But without the Harvest House, he would not, and without the donors that support Harvest House through financial assistance, his electricity was really disconnected. So,
well, I tell you, Satan's working overtime to keep this message from going out, because Facebook just went down again for us. So we're having, I guess it's still on YouTube, but anyways.
When it goes down, does that mean you have to restart, like the whole thing disappears?
We got the segments, but the pieces that we don't have are lost to posterity.
Oh no!
Yeah,
not completely accurate. We do have this recorded, and we'll get you the recording of the entire show. So we can upload that.
Will I be able to put it on the radio station later?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, we'll have to figure something out. So I'm sorry this is happening. It's not a good time. Is it the Facebook or is it the software?
Hard to tell. I'm narrowing it down, like what might be causing it right now.
Okay. Well, anyway.
We are back up, though.
Father God, we just ask you to open up the airways, and we just speak against any resistance that's causing this message to not go out.
Well, it's an important message, to say the least. So, anyway, try it again. You had a link that you sent me, right, Josh?
Yes, sir. Should be that one.
I didn't get it, I guess. Or I'm missing it. Goodness. Yes. Well, you're right. It wouldn't be a bad idea to pray about it, because we need to get this message out, and we don't need these technical difficulties to get in the way. Okay, I think we're back
just
on.
Go with the scripture that says, "No weapon formed against us will prosper." The weapon might be formed, but it will not prosper in the name of Jesus.
Well, here I'm going to reshare it and all this other stuff, and I'll try to get it on the radio in one coherent piece, but whatever else, we'll do what we can. Okay, one more time. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. I talked to y'all, and Elizabeth Becker and Debbie and all this. It strikes me, for all the conversation we have about our economy and whatever else, how many people are working as we would want them to do, and still are in this situation. That's what always gets to me a little bit. Is that if you have a job, you should be able to at least make ends meet or come close to it. And there's a lot of people, a lot of them work in retail, grocery stores, Target, whatever else, that y'all see. And I just don't understand how that is supportable, from a moral point of view, if you will, in the society. I may sound like some sort of socialist. I'm sounding like my son now, but because he's like much more
redistribute the wealth.
Yeah, more of that. Yeah, he's all over that. I'm like, wait a minute, no, that's my money. But anyway, but I just
biblically, I mean, the Bible talks about helping those in need, and those that will that help out of the kindness of their heart and after a true place of wanting to help. I mean, God blesses those. The principle of the tithe is the only place in the Bible that God says to test Him in that. And morally, spiritually, and just humanity altogether, to help others is it's our calling. It's everyone's calling, no matter where your faith lies, no matter where your political beliefs lies, to help your fellow neighbor. That's what community is about. And if you look at the communities across the world that do support each other, that do live in community, and again, we've talked about this, Burleson is an incredible community that stands with each other. The mental illness is down, the crime is down, the abuse is down, and it takes everybody. It takes everybody. There are people that can't give, that can't show up with their time. Okay, well, you can pray. You know, you can pray. There's going to be at some point, sometime you're cleaning out your kitchen, you're cleaning out a closet, that you have the opportunity to come and bring those things to the resale store. And, you know, it's not just about the food. For 40 years, Harvest House has done an incredible job feeding people, but we are really working towards that restoration piece, using the food as a carrot to bring the people in so that we can find out what obstacles are keeping them from being able to climb out of poverty. And so we have all the tools to do that, and food and financial is just a piece of it.
Yeah, and you know, it is a big piece. You know, the prayer is a good thing. I didn't really think about it that way. I always think of, you know, when these things arise, you're called to action more than anything else, more than just, I don't know, people that say, "I'll pray for you." You know, okay, great, show me the money. You know,
I have to disagree with you there because prayer moves mountains, and there are some people who cannot give of their time, talent, or treasure
I guess,
now.
Exactly. But the people I was referring to are those that, I'm not talking about those who can't give. I'm talking about those who can.
Well, come on, show me the money. Then those people can bring us the.
You know, if somebody's listening to this, if Facebook will let it go through, if people are listening to this, and they feel like they can't give. You know, we're not trying to guilt you into anything. All right, you know, prayer is important, but if you're hoarding back or it's like, oh well, I give a few bucks here or there. Well, that's between you and God, right?
That absolutely is. We had a lady that's a client of Harvest House, and she came in. It's on our Facebook page, and she gave us $1, and she said she wanted to donate. And so if that lady can donate her $1, I mean, that gift was so special to us because she saw the need and she wanted to, you know, we did a Power of One campaign, I don't know, a couple of years ago where
I remember that.
If everybody could just give $1, there's 55,000 residents in Burleson. If everybody gave $1, that's $55,000 to come together as a community. So every little bit counts. But if you're the big person that's got the money, come on, we'll take that too.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Come see Kelly. Kelly likes to talk to the.
Do you?
The big money givers.
You're the arm twister, huh? Is that
yes,
it?
I'm the arm twister for sure.
She will knock on your door.
Yeah. Well, y'all have an event coming up on November 6th, right? 10 to 11:30. I forget. It's a pathway, I'll bet.
We'll let Kelly talk about that.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Well, we're going to put her on the spot.
Well, throw it up on the screen, Josh. I know we're still having Facebook problems, so hopefully people see it on YouTube.
Oh, there's Zach.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook, so I sent it to Josh.
Yeah, so Zach is incredible.
He is, definitely.
He also does the I Like Birds. I don't understand the reference there, but I'm sure if you listen to his podcast, you know what he's talking about. But he's going to be emceeing it over at Pathway from 10 to 11:30. Is there an admission price here?
No, the event is free to attend.
Okay.
I
know, but I'm
if you
throwing
put up
it out
the other
there.
slide, it has there you go. That one has the QR code.
We just need people to register so that we can feed them.
It's going to be an ask involved. I mean, that's common and expected.
Yes, there is.
Mm-hmm. Good. Well, I mean, no one expects y'all to say, have some lunch on us. No, that's the way it works. You know, you go to these events like Next Step Scala and the BOF breakfast. Didn't cost to go, but you know, bring your wallet because we're going to ask you for a donation as is appropriate.
This year we're doing it a little bit different than we've done it before in the past. In the past, we've had just more of a presentation, but this year we've got an MC. We're going to have a demonstration where we're going to show what it takes to walk alongside a family for a year and the cost of that. And then we're going to, Zach and I are going to sit down and have a panel discussion. And we're going to kind of just go through some of the key things. We may talk a little bit about some of the same things that we've talked about today. We're going to share some client stories. And then Kelly's put together some incredible raffles. raffles.
Oh, did you? Okay,
Tell
what's
us
on
about
there?
some of your raffles.
So we have Dallas Stars tickets.
Ooh.
We have a signed hat from Kumar Rocker from the Rangers.
From the Rangers, yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Of course, Railroaders tickets. We also have tickets to the Cincinnati game for TCU. And then we have a Kate Spade purse, lots of good things.
Kate Spade purse.
And then a mini trip to Austin, kind of. It has a gift card for the Oasis on Lake Travis, and then 2 3-hour passes for zip lining on Lake Travis as well.
Good heavens. Where, you set all that up yourself?
I did set all
You
that
call
up.
them up? And
I
say,
believe that there's 31 packages altogether, so that's just
good heavens.
a little bit of it.
She's a rock star when it comes to putting packages together. Kendra Scott donated a necklace.
Yes.
We've got a tour of Burleson, a restaurant package.
Ooh, I'd like that one myself.
So we actually have 4 gift card packages for local restaurants, whether they be in Burleson or Fort Worth. Blue Mesa is included in that.
Oh, that's a wonderful restaurant in Fort Worth.
is.
I haven't been
It's,
there in a little while because I just go to Burleson. Thank you, Alex, if you're listening. But
Yes, shop local, Alex
yeah,
Phillips.
yeah.
Sorry.
But no, but Blue Mesa is a great place. I mean, it has a really good food. Yeah.
So our place gift cards are definitely
Of
in
course.
there for sure. And then we have Lone Star Bar, the Peach Cobbler Factory, all of those good things. So
And when you call them up, I hope you get a pretty good reception.
of course, I typically I go in person.
Oh well, there you go.
Because,
No wonder. Okay, you go shake them down in person, and I need your kidney, please.
Yes.
You and Megan Swearingen have that in common. You're hard to say no to.
Well, thank you. I'll remember that next time I come to you.
Look at the time. Yeah.
We're asking you to up your donation, please, today.
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 All right. Shaking them down. All right. Well, speaking of which, though, I've said this many times when it comes to donations, people feel like, well, I can't give $1,000. Well, that shouldn't stop you from giving $10 a month. Right. And that's what y'all depend upon. That's what all your groups depend upon is the monthly donations.
The monthly donations. We'll talk about at the brunch. We're going to break down the cost of supporting a family every month. But the cost is $85 a month to support a family of 4 for a month, or $1,000 for the year. But that can be broken down into 5 or 6 different people giving $10 a month. We have a monthly donor, going back to that power of one, we have a monthly donor that's been giving for 2 years that gives us $1 a month.
Well, it's probably the widow's mites, as they say. I've used that analogy many, many times. But it's, for some people, that dollar is probably more valuable than somebody who can drop 1,000.
Yep.
Now, you'll take 1,000, but, it's the blessings that come from sacrificial giving is incalculable, if I could use that word.
That's right.
Incalculable. There you go. But I'm just saying it is... I just don't want to give people the impression that they can give a lot, that they don't have to give any, or they can't give any. Because, I'm sitting in that Next Step Gala, and there's some big money in that room. But I gave it what I could, a little bit. And I'm good with that.
That's right.
And so...
and God will reward that.
Yeah, I think
And they're
so.
thankful for it.
I'm hoping so. And the thing is, though, do you give with an eye that, okay, the way I look at it is this. If I give with an eye that God will bless me, I don't know how effective that is. I look at it as God has blessed me, therefore
you give.
Therefore I give. I mean, I've had some people say, "Oh, God blesses you," and I said, "Well, He already has. Therefore, that's why I'm here."
Amen. That's good. I like that.
That's the way you should look at it. Because if you're looking at it as a transactional thing, you may not get what you want out of that deal because your tires will still go flat, or you still have bills and all this other stuff.
It doesn't. It's not a ticket to a magical life where there's nothing wrong goes wrong. And God knows our heart, so God knows the reason that you're giving, and God has blessed us to be a blessing and everybody. But the brunch is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be. Zach's going to do a little bit of comedy wise there, so we're going to bring a different mix and a different atmosphere than what we've done in the past. So. Again, it's complimentary. You do need to register, and there will be an ask at the end. So Ryan Anderson is going to be doing our ask at the end.
Ryan Anderson, First National Bank.
Yes.
I knew him when he was a student. I know his father well, worked with him for 30 years. And he's a good community man, to say the least. Does a lot of stuff for the community, and he's going to have his Santa beard working by now.
Yes, I think he's going to talk about Santa. I think that's part of what he's going to talk about during that ask period.
As far as Christmas, do you have something special? You said
we do. We have our Holiday Friends program. Holiday Friends is one of the. So whenever Harvest House first started, when we were the Ministerial Alliance 40 years ago, Christmas was one of the things that was our original program. So last year we did 402 kids. We start with our core group of people that came for summer food. So we offer it to them first, and then we have a limited number of spots, and then we open it up to the community after those people have had the opportunity to register. And the reason for that is that the people that have come throughout the summer for food for their children, we want to give them first opportunity to be able to sign up for those gifts. We take referrals from the police department, from other ministries, from churches who say, hey, I've got this family. Absolutely, those people can sign up. What we do have it closed off to is the people that just come strictly for the Christmas, and we don't see them again throughout the year. Our goal is to support our local community and those who are utilizing our services. And so, like I said, last year it was 402 kids that received 3+ gifts, donations from Toys for Tots. Toys for Tots supports us with that. And then the community does. We are so blessed by having those gifts from Toys for Tots, but that's not enough gifts.
No, so it's a lot, but it's not enough.
It's a lot, really, but it's not enough. So new unwrapped gifts. If you have toys that you want to clean out your closet with, we'll take those, but we'll take those in the resale store.
Right.
As far as for the Christmas program, it needs to be new unwrapped gifts. And then for our older kids, they often get forgotten. So our teenagers, right, there's not really toys for them. So we collect gift cards from $25 to $50 for our older students to also be able to receive gifts.
Well, the thing about the gifts, you're right about the older kids. They need to be appropriate. When I do the Toys for Tots thing, I don't want to buy what's a good way to put it? Military-related toys, all right? I'm not going to, because, I think the most aggressive thing I bought for Toys for Tots is a lightsaber,
Yeah.
And, whacking kids around with one of those, that's part of growing up. But, we used to use the tubes from the paper towels my mom would give us and my sister, and hit each other with them and that kind of thing. But you're right about the older kids. And I also stay away from electronic-related toys. I'm not going to give them a game, a video game, because they'd probably spend enough time in front of that already. They need to do something to get off their cans and do something.
Yeah, something that's interactive.
So, when we talk about teen years, like 15-year-old, 16-year-old. It's been 30 years since, 20 years. 20 years since I've had to buy for kids, because my kids are in their 30s. So what do kids want?
Well,
she had I got the answer.
You have the answer?
I do not have the answer. My son is grown, so it's been a while since I've actually bought for a teenage child as well.
You have a grown son.
I do have a grown
son.
I
did not know that. Okay, good for you. Mine's 33, and when he was growing up, it was easy to buy him when he was like 7. What do you want? Everything. So there you go. It was easy. And my daughter, same thing. Now,
that's why we do the gift cards. So for 14 through 18, we do gift cards. And what we tell people is find it, for the kids that are various ages. If you don't have kids, if you're not familiar with kids wants, find a kid and ask them, what do you want for Christmas this year? And obviously, if it's something that's outrageous, we ask that the gifts are, somewhere, but I wouldn't say buy a gift that's more than about $30 or $40. $10, $15 gifts are appropriate. And they're getting 2 or 3 of them, so that's appropriate. But just ask. You can, the Amazon has a great toy catalog that's all the great things that people are looking, and then you can find something that's in a certain category, and then find a cheaper version of that or something that would go with that. But all of the kids that are 14 to 18 get a gift card. Well,
that's good.
Because they're so hard to.
Well, and the thing about it is, not to get to politics again, but Christmas is going to be more expensive this year.
Tell me about it.
Well, because so many of these toys are made overseas, and the tariffs will impact it. But not just a natural inflation.
Did you hear that Toys R Us opened back up at location in Grapevine?
I heard that.
That's exciting.
That's I remember going to those places. I remember one time going. This shows how old I am. My son was 6 or 7. He wanted a Buzz Lightyear. That's when the first Toy Story movie came out, but 28 years ago, something like that. you couldn't find one of those if you walked into Toys R Us with a handgun. I mean, they were not to be had. And I remember you'd hear these rumors. Well, I think there's some over at this store, and you go over there, and it's a nut house. It's like that old Schwarzenegger Christmas movie.
Yeah,
you seen that one?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. And so
back then it wasn't Amazon that you could just put it on there. You had to go physically find it somewhere.
And so, that the way I look at it is it's kind of fun to go to the toy stores again and buy for somebody, and knowing that some kid, I can't imagine a worse feeling than a kid waking up on Christmas morning with nothing, and then having to go to school, and what'd you get? And they either have to lie or be embarrassed.
That's the thing right there, is the going to the school and knowing that your peers got stuff. And I think that sometimes the older kids get forgotten, even though they are the most aware. If you, and not that 3-4-year-olds shouldn't be getting Christmas. We take care of everybody. But the 3 and 4-year-old aren't really aware if they aren't getting Christmas. It's those middle schoolers. It's those teenagers that show up back at school and everyone's like, look at my new shoes. Look at this. Look at that. And they're just quiet, and they are aware that they didn't receive anything. They're aware of the stress that their family is feeling, and we desire that none of those kids are forgotten.
And also, as a father, I came to appreciate what my parents did and the sacrifices they made, because I never woke up without toys on Christmas, and we weren't destitute, but we weren't rich people either, and so. I know the sacrifice that people make. And I guess for a lot of people that don't have kids, this is a great opportunity. Don't have, young people to buy for. This is a great opportunity to kind of relive those days, right? Yeah. I'm still trying to remember. You were the grown son. I can't believe it. No, you just, I just figured I was going to ask you, when do you graduate college? I mean, so, when you get out of high school.
Are you trying to say that Kelly looks like she's a lot younger than me?
Well, is that what's happening there?
Let's talk about.
So my son is 23 years old. Definitely. He is definitely grown.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, mine, it's 33. My daughter's 30. And what they want for Christmas now is help us pay bills. Here's some money, and that's fine.
Grandkids? You have grandkids?
No, I have no grandkids.
Oh, no grandkids.
No. I don't know if there's none on the horizon. Will it ever happen? Well, that's in God's hands, not mine. But I don't have any grandkids to buy for. So that's kind of what the point is making.
Yeah.
Is that this is a good opportunity to buy for grandkids you don't even know, or something like that.
Absolutely. And you can always come and volunteer at the event, and you can actually see.
Oh, it'd be hard.
It would be hard.
Emotionally, isn't it hard on y'all? I mean,
it is very hard, but there's also joy in it, because some parents come without their kids so that they can pick and put them under it. But some parents bring their kids and they get to pick the toy, and to see the joy, it's worth all the emotion.
How many tears, ladies?
Yeah.
It's very rewarding, for sure.
Yeah. Are y'all criers?
I am.
Sometimes.
Kelly's not.
Sometimes.
I've never seen you cry in 5 years.
Well, like my wife would get teared up at that scene, and I probably get a little emotional as well. Because you just think, I really thinking, watching some family who's struggling do something for their kid. How can you not have emotion over that? And knowing that somebody somewhere had a piece of that, and they're going to be blessed without even knowing it. I always imagine that one day when we're walking the streets of glory, somebody's going to walk up to me and say, because you gave a toy at Toys for Tots, I got a toy for Christmas. Now, I have no idea, maybe.
If that's how it works.
Yeah, I don't know. And that sounds very,
That's
hokey and corny, but you never know, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be people, especially people that donate and support all of our local nonprofits. There are going to be people's lives who have been impacted in the ripple effects of just those small choices.
Well, let's sum this up a little bit. I'm going to, we've been having some internet problems, and so Josh and Taylor and I are going to try to piece something together. So it'll be on my Facebook page, and you'll be able to share it. And it's going to be on the radio station. It maybe pieced together, but they'll get the important parts. In the community radio, it'll be on at 6 o'clock today and 1 o'clock tomorrow, so other people hear it. This will be on my page, the Facebook edition at least, on probably about 1 o'clock when I get home. Didn't take that long. But so you have other opportunities, guys, out there to hear it, even if it was this was all mangled up because of internet issues we've been having. Like I said, Satan had worked overtime. Don't want to get the message out, but y'all get the message out.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, you will. I mean,
And we appreciate you helping us get the message out.
It's a blessing on my part. I get the blessings, as far as, content. I used to want to talk about politics, but that's so unfulfilling. This is so much better. I mean, I'll talk next Monday about the constitutional amendments and whatever else, and maybe I'll get to the point and have an open date. I might rant and rave about something, but this has a lot more value, I think. A lot of people are kind of burned out on politics anyway. I know I am.
Yeah.
So I pay less attention to it now than I ever have. And this is my profession, right?
It's hard. And talk about emotionally draining. Politics are emotionally draining.
Yeah, it really is. And
then you wonder, do we really have... Nobody get mad, but do we really make an impact? I mean, does our opinion really matter? And can we really do any kind of substantial change from...
that's a very legitimate question. Very legitimate. Is
it all staged? Is any of it real?
There's a lot of posturing and posing and all, and people taking umbrage, and then when the cameras are off, okay, let's go get coffee, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But so this is what I would tell my vast listening audience. This is what you should focus on: local community. Now, local politics.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah. Local politics around here, we have amazing elected officials.
Well, and they're coming up on election season.
Yeah.
And I feel very confident we are not going to go through what we did about 4 or 5 years ago, because of the people that we have now. And I don't know anybody else that's going to run, but I think we've attracted some good quality candidates in the last couple of elections, win or lose. And I'll have them on in the spring. And all that. That's what I tell people now. Don't worry about what's going on in D.C. It's just a dog and pony show.
I agree.
With a lot more dogs and a lot of show ponies. And but it is important who the mayor and the council is, and school boards are, and that kind of stuff like that. But as far as if you feel like out there, vast listening audience, that what you do doesn't make a difference, that's not true.
Thank you.
That's not true. And you say, well, $10 isn't going to go anywhere. $10 in God's hands is a lot of money.
That's right.
The
principle of multiplication.
That's
it's real,
right.
and it's biblical.
It's biblical. And so if you're able to give, then please do so. And, like what I like about y'all and your peers is there's not a competition going on.
Absolutely not.
$10 given to Harvest House is not $10 not given somewhere else. I mean, y'all don't look at it like that.
Nope.
And that's great to have. My favorite show of the year is that one we do back in September, that June as we did. Now, unfortunately, you were unavailable that day.
Yes. So my grandmother had an STEMI heart attack.
Ooh, is she okay now?
We're looking at a pacemaker.
Yeah. Well, she's probably close to my age, and we're getting there,
She's going to be 91 in December. So
not close to your age.
That's pretty close, right?
Yeah, it's pretty close. Hey. Yeah, it is pretty close.
Sorry.
No,
Right.
I'm 63, so
Mic is muted.
no, the pieces are starting to show wear and tear. But there you go. Well, but a pacemaker. Okay, well that's good. But you had
Nikki.
somebody else.
You had Nikki.
Right. Okay.
yes.
Nikki. So Nikki was a volunteer for Harvest House, and she volunteered up front for a while, and then she volunteered during our Christmas program last year. And she said, "I'm going to stay until you guys hire me." And she stayed for a year as a volunteer, and then we were finally able to bring her on as a program coordinator.
Good.
And so she oversees all of our client-based programs. Kelly's community focused, Nikki's client focused, and they are just got a great team.
Here's Taylor. He's on. He's on. When you see that little symbol there, it's it's a YouTube comment. Okay. So Taylor says, "I'm doing a great job." Yes, sure am. Anyway.
What about us, Taylor? We're not doing a great job too? Man, there's a whole team here.
That's what I'm saying. Now, I'm privileged to be able to bring these kind of shows. I know you're very generous in your comments, but believe me, I get the benefit more than y'all might imagine. So there you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to your listeners for listening to us and supporting us. We appreciate you. And your sponsors.
Yes. I was about to get to that point. I mean, the sponsors on the show have other alternatives to how to promote their businesses, but they choose this one because of this. Because when I talk to Otto, I talk to Jeff, talk to Al, John, Tiffany, I don't want to leave anybody out. This is one of the first things they talk about. All right. And so, they talk about how they they enjoy putting this on. What is now? Okay, Taylor says, hey, now he skipped the part making fun of his age. LOL. Everyone is doing awesome. Okay.
He says, "Oh, I'll read it, Taylor. Only 63? Question mark, exclamation point."
Well, that's what I feel when I wake up. Someone like, this can't be 63. I must be ready for, I'll be ready for Medicare in 2 years. And if you're good and ready for Medicare, I know somebody that you can talk to. They'll get you hooked up with Medicare. And that's a free plug to one of my BNI friends, Michelle McGee. That's a good thing about the show is get throw out the shout outs.
Yeah.
Well, y'all finish this off. And about what we need to know, not just about the event, but Christmas too, and anything that's on your mind. Kelly. You go first, because
oh my goodness,
she's quiet over there.
So we would love for everyone to join us at Pathway on November 6th from 10 to 11:30 a.m. for our annual harvest brunch. There's going to be a lot of great raffle packages, some good conversation, some impact stories, and definitely a lot of community leaders in that room.
Mm-hmm. And your turn.
I just want to say thank you to the community. I really do. It's been a tough year for everyone. Mm-hmm. And, at the end of the year, that is our biggest push for end of year giving. That's how we finish off the year. It's the busiest season for needs. And a lot of people forget about supporting their local nonprofits. So don't forget about us during the holiday season. Make us a part of your Thanksgiving and Christmas plan. And just thank you for the continued support. Thank you, Brad, for letting us come on. We really appreciate it. And
thank you.
We believe in your technical group that this is all going to be good and it's going to run smoothly.
Well,
they're going to be able to chop it up and make it all sound.
We're going to make
good.
it. We're going to get this in one piece sooner or later. Taylor's going to be working on it, and Josh is going to be working on it, and we'll get something out there.
And the weather's beautiful, so get outside and do some walking.
Nice. Yeah,
it's good for your mental health.
Yeah, that's true also. Okay, what's on the schedule next Thursday? Like I mentioned, 11. Jack Matson and his Marine group is going to be here talking Toys for Tots. Monday, I'll be talking about the constitutional amendments for the state amendment. We're right in the middle of an election. Yeah, very few people really know that. Have y'all voted yet? Yeah, right. I haven't voted yet.
I have not.
Well, I don't know anybody that has, frankly, because constitutional amendments, since there's no people on the ballot, most people don't even think about it. But it is important. And then next Tuesday, Jeff and I are going to talk about this election and about these amendments and how it will affect property rates, because there are a couple of amendments that deal with property taxes.
Is it going to be good for the homeowners or bad? Do you know yet?
Well, here's that one particular piece would one of them raises the homestead exemption $40,000. Okay, and then for people over 65, which I'm rapidly approaching, thank you, Taylor. It's going to go up to $200,000. Okay. So you can have a fairly substantial increase in homestead exemption, but as far as the reduction in taxes, it's only going to be about $40 a month. Okay, so we're not talking about a great windfall here for the average homeowner. Mm-hmm. The other side of the coin is there's 2 or 3 other amendments that have me more concerned because they will prohibit other ways of raising revenue for the state, and so basically it's like you're cutting off all these potential avenues of raising revenue. I'm not in favor of state income tax, but I want that at least to be an option if things go south in other areas. Mm-hmm. But it's the same thing with, certain other restrictions on how the government can raise revenue. And it seems like we're putting more and more emphasis on fewer and fewer areas to raise revenue for the state. That's my concerns in a nutshell. So
I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah. There's also our state constitution's weird. Okay. They can't do, if it's not in there explicitly, they can't do it. So they have to amend the Constitution every 2 years. We've had this Constitution since 1876, and we've amended it nearly 600 times.
Wow.
And so, and a lot of these amendments don't apply to Texans as a whole. It applies to maybe a certain group or a certain region or whatever. So
interesting.
It's a weird Constitution. I taught that class for many years at Hill, and it got harder to teach, frankly, because you see what's going on in Austin. It's like, well, this is going. No, that's not what's going on. We're all a bunch of bums, So you couldn't keep the impartial, straight face. Well, Josh, I guess we got some work cut out for us afterwards. We'll try to get this in one piece, y'all. If you have any other things you need promoted after the brunch next week, just send me the stuff. She knows where to find me. Okay. All right. And good. I appreciate very much what y'all do. I know y'all you're going to have a very full 2 months. So God bless you. God give you strength. God give you energy. Help you wake up every morning with renewed commitment.
Amen. Thank you. I received that.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And we'll see y'all next Thursday.
Okay.